Madrid away at Real Betis yesterday. All of that and more right here on Scoreboard in 15 on 32 FM 94.9. My name is OLORUNTOBA. Yusuf SAMIES joins me this morning. SAMIES, good to have you on Scoreboard.
Good morning, OLORUNTOBA. Good morning to the entire people of Ibadan. Just like you mentioned, the ITTF Africa Cup are set to begin there in Benghazi from the 7th through the 9th of this month. It's definitely going to be a great one for Nigeria participants, where we have Haruna Quadri, and of course we know some of the big boys who definitely will be participating in this competition from Egypt, from Algeria, and you talk about the prominence in which these guys they've given in the world of table tennis. But I hope this time, after the absence of Haruna Quadri on the Nigerian scene, with the Nigerian team, because last year he didn't represent Nigeria at all, I hope this year he can definitely go further. All
right, five-time champion Haruna Quadri will lead Nigeria's charge to reclaim continental glory at the 2025 ITTF Africa Cup, scheduled to hold in Libya from Saturday 7th till Monday 9th. Libya is hosting the Continental Table Tennis Tournament for the first time. Haruna Quadri will be joined in the men's singles by Omotayo Olajide, while Fatima Bello and Ajoke Ojomo will represent Nigeria in the women's singles. Haruna Quadri and Olajide will be aiming to reclaim the men's title. Nigeria last won in 2024, while Bello and Ojomo hope to become the country's first women's singles champion since Ganiato Gundele's triumph back in 2003. Quickly, let's leave table tennis. Let's go to football, where there are reports that the Nigerian Football Federation have opened talks with coach Eric Schell of the Super Eagles to extend his contract as the head coach of the national team. Don't forget that Eric Schell took charge of the Super Eagles about a year ago, and he was able to take the Super Eagles to the bronze medal finish at the recently concluded AFCON tournament in Morocco. The talks arrive amid speculation linking Schell with interest from Tunisian national team. The report had actually suggested that the Tunisian Federation had made inquiries about his availability, raising questions about his future with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But this move by the NFF SAMIES to begin extension talks with Eric Schell appears to be aimed at ensuring stability for the Super Eagles and continuity of what Eric Schell has done. What do you make of the decision?
Well, it's definitely going to be a good one if you assess what he has done in the past with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Since his employment as the head coach of the side, you look at what he has done as well. We know he signed a 2 or 3 year contract with the Super Eagles, which is set to elapse by the end of this year. And what we have left this year is the African Cup of Nations qualifiers. And the host for the African Cup of Nations is not yet certain. But you look at it, what he has done, it took us to the African Cup of Nations, better his own performance at the last time out there in Ivory Coast. But for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, we went one shy. But you talk about how we performed, it definitely was good. And it got the hearts of and attention of many Nigerians. But you also look at it and say, Eric Schell, was it the cause for not participating at the the FIFA Men's World Cup? I'll say no, because the number of wins he has with the national team is way more than the number of defeats. I'm not sure he has up to 3 defeats as the head coach of the senior national team. Yeah. I'm excluding the Chan tournament now that went down last year. But with the senior national team proper, Eric Schell has done a good job, and it's all about the continuity now, which we hope he can continue at the process in which he has started, and of course I think also to greater things in the future.
Right, quickly in the MPFL, Kun Khalifa have made a dramatic U-turn. We're just here talking about it yesterday, decision to withdraw from the MPFL. They had announced actually that they were going to withdraw from the league because of what they describe as harsh sanctions and punishment imposed on them by the authorities of that league. But they made the U-turn yesterday, saying that they had had a positive discussion with the league management board and they want to return to the MPFL. So the good news eventually, because this would have had an impact, just like Toby explained to us yesterday, an impact on the club and even the MPFL itself in terms of those who had played and garnered points against Kun Khalifa. But good news, both parties look to have settled this time.
Well, good news. And I also look at it, maybe when they made their decision of boycotting the NPFL, they didn't go into the rule book. But after they went through the rule book, at the certain number of
discovered that there will be consequences.
There are going to be lots of consequences. Yeah. Playing in the 4th tier, Mami, when will you get back into the top flight of Nigerian football and the fines in which they are going to pay? So it's so good that they had a rethink about their decision. And up next for them is the game against the Oluyole Warriors. That's Shooting Stars at the Dan Anyam Stadium later this weekend, the match day 25 of the Nigeria Premier Football League. And it's definitely just a good. And I hope they actually given good performance. And for the NPFL, if clubs also submit letters to them stating their reason for some of these decisions, there should be swift reaction to some of their claims. And also for club sides, not wait till the dying minute to actually drop your complaints. Make it like a week. There's this formality that we all expect from our profession.
Okay, quickly, as you mentioned in the MPFL, 𝐂𝐿 will be back in action this weekend as they take on Shooting Stars Sport Club of Ibadan. That's on Sunday. Meanwhile, action begins tomorrow with Bendel Insurance at home against Enyimba International. Kano Pillars will face Remo Stars. Plateau United against Kwara United. Ikorodu City will take on Niger Tornadoes. Warri Wolves against Alchemy Warriors. Abia Warriors against Enugu Rangers. That's a Southeastern derby there. Nasser United will face Bayelsa United. Katsina United will travel to face Wiki Tourists of Bauchi. Like I mentioned, 𝐂𝐿 against Shooting Stars. Quickly, in the CAF Champions League this weekend as well. Power Dynamos against RS Berkane. Young African against AS FAR of Morocco. MC Alger against Al Hilal. There's also Stade Malien against ES Tunis, while Rivers United will take on Pyramids. Very quickly, 2 seconds, Samis, Rivers United, Pyramids. Is there still hope for Finidi George? Let's say, we talked about, I think, on Monday, where they lost to, Power Dynamos 1-0.
It's over for the Pride of Rivers because there's no way we can qualify. To talk about the games we have left, the Pyramids of Egypt and that's RS Berkane. There is no way we can defeat.
We need to win both. Yeah.
But for Finidi George, what is said, at least to lift the competition on high, we can get a victory against one of these sides. But qualification into the next round, it's a no-no.
All right, quickly, let's join Molly Stevens at the BBC Sports Centre in England for some updates in the English Premier League. Stay with us.
Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Hello, I'm Molly Stevens at the BBC Sports Centre. Chelsea boss Liam Rosenior thinks Arsenal didn't show respect to his team before their League Cup semi-final second leg earlier this week. He's been asked about a social media clip that showed him yelling towards Arsenal players to stay in their own half of the pitch during pre-match warm-ups. Here's what Rosenior had to say about that.
I think there's certain etiquettes in football. I always try and be as respectful as possible. I always want to win. I've never asked my coaches, and I don't have an issue with anyone at Arsenal Football Club. A fantastic manager, Mikel, is someone I've got so much respect for. It was just in that moment, I didn't think that respect was shown to my team.
Tottenham captain Christian Romero says it was disgraceful his side had just 11 senior players available for Sunday's 2-2 draw against Manchester City. Spurs have lost 9 players to injury in 2026. They've sold last season's top scorer Brennan Johnson to Crystal Palace and only brought in 2 senior signings in the January window. It's the second time in recent weeks Romero has spoken out on social media, writing in a now altered post in January that members of the club's hierarchy only show up when things are going well to tell a few lies. The Spurs boss, Thomas Frank, has been asked about his online comments.
If you want to know what he meant, you of course need to ask him. 𝐿𝐒𝐒 is a very passionate character and player that they want to leave everything on the pitch and is very ambitious and want to win every single time. Sometimes when you are like that, sometimes there is can come an outburst. It happened this time, and it's something we of course dealt with internally.
On Friday night in the Premier League, Nottingham Forest travel to Leeds. Forest boss Sean Dyche thinks they're going into the game in a great place.
I think there's a good edge to what we're doing at the moment. There's a good competitive edge home and away, and I think that's built over some time here, and I think we're dealing with that well and still playing and being effective. So I think our balance is right at the moment. We've got to go and do it again, of course, up there.
And for more football news from the BBC, go to bbc.com/football.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Right, thank you, Molly Stevens, there for that quick update in the English Premier League. I wonder the kind of respect Liam Rosenior was talking about there when he said that the coaching crew of Arsenal sort of disrespected him on the touchline in that semi-final loss against the Gunners at the Emirates. Meanwhile, quick one, Sammy's Christian Romero complaining about the hierarchy at Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham have been badly hit by injuries this season. They had just 11 senior players in the draw against Manchester City at the weekend, and their top striker this season, Brendan Johnson, has also been sold as well. There's a lot going on there. You can understand the frustration of his player very quickly.
In the last 3 seasons, they've sold 3 of their top goal scorers, Son, Harry Kane, and Brendan Johnson. And so you say that Christian Romero, this is not the first time we would actually talk about the hierarchy at Tottenham Football Club. And I wonder what the team, or what the hierarchy, they are not doing right at this point in time. Danny Levy is out of there, even if we think Danny Levy has a lot of things to do, has a lot of call to make, but he is out of the team. And for Tottenham Football Club, what is the way forward for them? They should actually put this club at a high pedestal, because they won the UEFA Europa League last season, and we expected a better performance for them this season, but it has not been so.
Right, quickly in the Premier League, of course, this weekend, loads of action to expect, but the big one is Liverpool against Manchester City. All eyes on this game, SAMIES, in 2 seconds. Whatever happens here, some say the stars already aligning for Arsenal. One game, week in, week out, results are turning their way. They're winning their games, and those who are supposed to be chasing them, putting pressure on them, are also facing difficult fixtures as well. In this case, a difficult trip to what's their stadium now? Anfield, yes, against Liverpool for Manchester City.
I think just like you mentioned, everything aligning for Arsenal Football Club. But for Arsenal, they need to do their own beat and reach their own part of the bargain. But at the game set to go down on Sunday, I think Pep Guardiola and his boys know what's at stake. They would go there with all firepower to get maximum 3 points from the Anfield. And for Liverpool, on the other hand, they want to chase the top 4. That is what is left for them to fight for this season.
Right. Okay. Manchester United against Tottenham Hotspur. Arsenal, meanwhile, back at home at the Emirates against Sunderland. Wolves against Chelsea. That's also tomorrow. Bournemouth against Aston Villa. Meanwhile, tonight is Leeds United against Nottingham Forest. Quickly, let's run you through the result of what played out last night at the Copa del Rey. Ademola Lookman, 1 goal, 1 assist for the Nigerian international in that 5-0 thrashing against Real Betis. Atalanta beat Juventus in the Coppa Italia as well, 3-0 to make it through to the semi-final. Huge result for Atalanta there. All right, that's it on Scoreboard in 15. Don't forget to join our sports crew. There's a lot to talk about, but time is on our side. Our sport crew will be back later this evening, 3:30 p.m. On Scoreboard Reloaded. Thank you, SAMIES, for doing this with me. My name is OLORUNTOBA Yusuf. Enjoy the rest of your Friday morning. Bye for now.